Let's send it down to our favorite guys, the heavy hitters on a Tuesday morning.
Indeed, Gino. Peter KADZIS of the Boston Phoenix, a man who I'm going to guess was not surveyed by Gallup for the favorite president of all time.
Correctamundo.
Not a big Reagan guy over there. Cosmo Macero of Vanilla Associates, a man fascinated with one story and one story only in the news today, which leads me to ask the question, have you ever been to the Denny's in Chicopee?
I have been. It's a rough joint. It is. Hey, hold your horses for a second. I know it's been a few days, but I got to say, the entire viewing public is irrevocably and irretrievably damaged by the sight of you last week out here in that Speedo. Those milky white and somewhat substantial thighs. By the way, your socks are too tight because you can see the ring around your lower calf. Socks are too tight. Okay. You had the gut hanging out. And
Cosmo's really spent a lot of time reviewing this video.
Hold on. Were those Teva sandals? Welcome to 1998. It was a very good year.
Wait a minute, I'm taking fashion critiques from you?
Are you kidding me?
Do I need to dust off the video of you down at the kiddie pool in Falmouth or wherever it was?
I'm
going to predict that there were sock lines there.
Your socks are too tight, buddy. Let me tell you, the next time the FedEx guy says to me...
The socks were too tight. Trust me, I was there. That wasn't the thing that was too tight in that day.
Exactly. The next time the FedEx guy says, Mr. Macero, we have a package for you, I'm going to say, you know what? You keep it, okay? Because I've seen enough package for the rest of my life. Okay? I've seen plenty of package, and I'm all done with the package.
All right.
Fair enough? Enough.
I feel like we're playing a drinking game. You're like Wes Welker. Instead of foot, you're saying package this morning.
I'm here to apologize to the viewing public.
You will not be joining me in a heavy hitters rendition, is what you're telling me.
I've never worn a Speedo, but I have been to the Denny's in Chicopee.
That's enough for me. All right.
Okay.
Let's get serious now, gentlemen. Peter KADZIS, I start with you. We're hearing threats from D.C. of a government shutdown. I hate to quote John Kerry here, but bring it on.
Well, you know, it'll have more consequences than people realize. I'm just saying there will be a lot of things that you might not think of being affected. The travel industry, for example. You know.
What's the likelihood this is going to happen, or is this just all bluster?
I don't know. I used to think it was all bluster. I don't know. I think there's maybe a 30-40% chance it'll happen. What's interesting about this, though, is Clinton won hands down last time because he caught everyone by surprise. And face it, even if you're a Republican, Gingrich is an easy person to demonize. I think John Boehner is not. The Republicans know what the play will be if Obama takes a script from President Clinton. So I'm not sure that the Republicans will get beat up as much on this.
Cosmo, like my Speedo, this budget negotiation is very tight. The question is, who's going to crack?
I think maybe it's not clear yet. As far as...
I want to make sure that went right over your head. It did.
Taking the lesson
Did
from...
somebody say this was wear a hat at work day? By the way, what's with the old fat patriot? Was your hair not kept? I mean, what gives?
I think the Republicans ought to take a lesson, actually, from 95 and the quasi-shutdown. Gingrich pursued that with tremendous gusto. It did ultimately backfire with Clinton winning re-election. I think they ought to take caution. The problem is, Boehner, who was a lieutenant to Gingrich then, is aware of that. This freshman class of Republicans are coming in. They're guns blazing, out for to make things happen, and they may not stand for that. They may only go for an extension once or twice, but not continue to do that.
No, what would make the Democrats' day would be if you had, and this is a hypothetical, if you had a group of Tea Partiers in the House cheering as the government shuts down. Then that'll be juxtaposed in the film with Granny not getting her Social Security check. So there is some uncharted territory.
The key guy in this for the Republicans is Paul Ryan, who is from Wisconsin. I never talked so much about Wisconsin in all my life, but the Wisconsin protests are coming a little closer to home. Today, right here in front of the State House, apparently the teachers' unions are going to have a little show of support for the teachers in Wisconsin. And now the Tea Party in Massachusetts is also going to have a counter rally. Cosmo, does this make any sense to you at all, these rallies in support of or against Wisconsin?
It certainly feels like Lambeau Field out here, so maybe that will draw a crowd. Not really. I mean, isn't there enough to protest? And don't the teachers' unions in Massachusetts have enough of their own to worry about as opposed to bringing the Wisconsin issue here? So no, I don't think so. I don't think they'll get a big crowd, and I'm not really sure why a lot of people would pay attention. It doesn't have a lot of impact on Massachusetts.
The theory is, Peter, that this could, if this passes in Wisconsin, this could be coming soon to a locale near you. Never will this happen in Massachusetts, am I right?
I don't know about that. I don't think it's going to happen in Massachusetts,
under the current administration.
Under the current administration, or a year or two. But who knows what sort of financial calamities down the line. Listen, I'm as surprised by the way this has caught on across the country as I think most of us were surprised.
Well, has it caught on, though?
Well, in states in the Midwest and stuff, it has. Look, when you've got former steel workers, former auto workers, who may be staunch union men on the unemployment lines, I think their sympathies are going to be strained. I think this isn't a wildfire yet, but I think it has the possibility of catching on, and that could really alter the political landscape of the country.
Either of you want to predict who wins in Wisconsin, the governor or the unions?
Well, I think maybe there'll be a compromise. I think the governor will win more than the union wins if there is a compromise. That's just my gut. I don't have any inside knowledge.
And then he comes out looking like your favorite President Reagan.
Listen, Reagan was a very important president. Not my favorite, but I will not question what an important figure he was. And you're right, that analogy is very apt.
Quickly, I got 30 seconds left. Libya looks like it may fall soon. Gaddafi says, don't listen to those media dogs, but nobody seems to know where he is. Peter, you've been on this story more than most. Are you surprised what's going on there?
No, I'm not surprised. And if Gaddafi doesn't fall now, he will fall at some point. The government will lose all legitimacy as a result of its firing on its people.
His number two son's supposed to have the image of a reformer. Doesn't sound like it lately. He's talking about rivers of blood and thousands dying if this continues. So.
You questioned what I wore the other day. What about what Gaddafi's wearing these days?
Yeah, as Joe said off air, a little bit of Muslim extremists and Macage au fond.
Well, he is a whack job if ever there was one. See him carrying his umbrella around.
But it wasn't raining. It's strange.
You know what? The guy quite literally lives in a tent wherever he goes, so it's pretty interesting.
Peter KADZIS of the Phoenix, Cosmo Macero of O'Neill Associates. They're the heavy hitters.